how's it going? This is Josiah Woodson. Thanks again for clicking on the link, as I always say. I just wanted to take a second and talk about my decision to be a multi-instrumentalist, what that's about, what it's like, and my views and thoughts on that. About a year before, I had picked up guitar. My dad is a flute player, so I had the idea to, pick up a little bit of flute. Flute was a quick transition for me because it's a frontline instrument just like trumpet. The notes in my head appear the same way as they do on trumpet. And so I had started down the path of let's add colors to the palette, let's add some tools to the toolbox. As a lot of you know, I finished my master's degree at New England Conservatory, which is in Boston, which is right up the street from a very little known school called Berklee School of Music, where there might be one or two guitar players there in the entire department. Quite sarcastic, as it's pretty much half the school is guitar players. So I had a bunch of friends that went to Berklee. I had a friend named Jordan. We had a little get-together at his house with some of his flatmates, and he had his guitar set up, and he was like, "Here, you want to try guitar?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll try it." Flashback. Back in high school, I got it in my head to play a little bit of guitar. I think I played it for about a month and a half. I had some people around me who weren't very encouraging. I let myself get discouraged and I stopped playing. And then when I picked it up again, almost 10 years later, I didn't have that discouragement. I had encouragement around me, and I bought myself a guitar, and it was a Fender Squire, and it was crap. So I went right back and got myself an Ibanez. And the second piece of encouragement came in the form of a guy named Roland, who was a guitar player at NEC at the time, among other things. He took me to the guitar shop and he showed me, my first few things about guitars. And the third piece of encouragement came in the form of a guitar player named Raja. I was playing in a band called Lumine Touré and Group Salom. Raja was the guitar player in the band, and he was like, "Look, if you're serious about guitar, you can handle some of these background parts, and then that will free me up to solo a bit." And so I played little parts, and that was my first sort of foray into being on stage and actually playing this instrument. But it didn't really break for me until January. I was invited by Danilo Perez to go down to Panama Jazz Festival that year, 2006. Danilo kept telling us, "Man, this guy Kurt Rosenwinkel, you have to hear him." I got to hear Kurt play with Danilo and I think Adam Cruz and Ben Street. It was a mind-blowing experience. And the next day he played this tune right here that you're listening to, Zhivago, is actually a recording from that day. I was behind the stage and I had my little mini disc player, 2006, and I recorded as much as I could. I think I got to go listen to him give a master class the next day. That really ignited a fire within me. I really started getting in the shed, and that's when I really decided to make it a double. Like I want to be a guitar player. That's one of the tools I want in the shed. And I was just so excited. Like I picked up the guitar and it wasn't about playing another instrument. It wasn't about trying to impress anybody. When I picked up the guitar, when I started practicing, I was practicing like I had nothing to do that summer. So I was practicing sometimes 17 hours a day, just sitting in my apartment, just practicing, and the time is like just going by because I'm having so much fun. And so what it was about for me was I really found a piece of myself in the guitar. Like I found a piece of me there, and I had to go after that. At each point in my learning of this new instrument, I was met with different types of resistance. There are obviously lots of people who think, "Oh, that guy's just showing off," or you get that no matter what you do as long as you're going up. There's a lot of people who think that if you start practicing guitar, that's going to take time away from practicing trumpet, going to make you a worse trumpet player. I've found that to be quite untrue. One, I practice guitar when you can't practice trumpet, 2 in the morning, so right away that's false. But the other thing is there's sort of this symbiosis that happens, this mutually beneficial relationship that happens with each of your instruments. Like they each add to the other one. I play trumpet now differently because I play guitar and because I play flute. So I become unique on all of the instruments I play because of the different gravities that are my other instruments and how they pull me in different directions. And there's other resistance that I have felt as well from other musicians musicians who aren't quite ready to accept somebody on a different instrument. I've found that there are times when people are more ready to accept another guitar player because that's their only instrument. But I did get some resistance from some of the more authoritative figures in my life. The late great Wendell Logan, who was the chair of the jazz studies at Oberlin, and I was telling him that I picked up a new instrument, and he was like, pick one. And I left it at that, but I've been telling myself then and since that I did pick one. The one instrument I choose to play is music, and that's what I'm doing. So there it is. That's my path as a multi-instrumentalist. So I guess the takeaway is it's not about anything other than the music for me. And that's what makes me happy. So that's what I do. Peace.